This is the Broodcast on Poets at War, Inkling-style Discord chat, last Friday of every month. And now, the Broodcast.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Better.
Testing,
Okay,
testing,
yes.
testing.
Okay.
'Twas brillig in the slavey tove.
There you go. That's a good one to go with. I usually go with probably the Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Alexander, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Alex, what's up, y'all? It's good to hear from you. Let me see if I can... There we go. That'll be better for the video part of the recording. Not that anyone's on video, but we can at least see who's talking. I'm recording the Discord light ups when people talk, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay. Cool.
So, alrighty then. So what's going on with you, Alex?
Not much. I am in the car again, as always seems to happen whenever there's Broodcast, and on the way home from work. Actually,
do a lot of driving. Do you?
I do not. So I actually haven't been driving these, but we were on the way back from vacation, and now I'm on the way home from work.
I gotcha. What were you saying, Daniel?
I just poured peppermint extract everywhere.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
I mean, it smells nice at least.
There is that.
Oh man, I needed. Oh goodness, I cannot talk.
That'll wake you up too. All that peppermint.
Oh, I just wiped it up with a paper towel. I think I'm gonna hold on to this thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I only had a few things to go through specifically for future stuff, but I'm gonna wait till some other folks start trickling in, hopefully here in a few minutes. So we'll see how that goes.
And whenever you want to start recording for Poets at War, just tell me and I'll mute myself until I get to a place that doesn't have road noise.
No, it cuts you off pretty good by itself. Discord does.
Yeah, cool.
So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's only when we have echo, like, you know, coming back through, which phones are pretty good at canceling out echo.
Okay.
So the other thing, what was the other thing I was thinking of? Losing my sight, losing my mind. Anyway, so I have a few things that I wanted to talk about for future broadcasts and stuff, but like I said, I'll wait and see if people start trickling in a few minutes. I have been on a rabbit trail. Hello, Wilsons. How y'all doing?
I mean, as well as can be expected.
Is it just you or TK as well?
Oh, she's here. She's just doing some stuff.
Okay, sounds good to me. I was just telling them I have a few things to go through for future stuff with Brood and Broodcast and other, but we're waiting to see who trickles in. So, but I have been on a rabbit trail today, looking down the trail of MIDI controllers, particularly of the guitar-ish variety. I have this crazy cockamamie idea that I'll be able to create through macros on a computer and all kinds of other stuff, the ability to both DJ, like as in like, you know, skip forward and back songs that crossfade, right? Play a lead instrument over that and control OBS to play slides in order to do sort of a live bardic storytelling thing. And what's really funny is the cheapest and best option is the Rock Band Pro controller, which is like their sort of hybrid real guitar slash like controller sort of thing, where it has like 100+ buttons on it instead of the normal like small, you know, couple of buttons. It was supposed to like teach you how to play guitar. It has a button for every spot that you would have a fret, right? On a real guitar. And they're like $100. Sometimes you can pick them up even cheaper. And they plug in via MIDI, and if I did enough programming, I would be able to control slides, music, and lead instrument all together, which would be crazy. So
Wow.
yeah, like I said, it's a bit of a rabbit trail, but I'm playing through it in my mind to see if I could even possibly do something like that. But yeah. What about you,
Cool.
Wilsons? What y'all been up to? That good, huh?
It's kind of hard to decide where to start. Why don't you tell them what you've been up to, Chris, and then I'll come in with my bull crap.
Bull crap.
Oh no, I'll have to bleep that out in the final recording. I'm kidding. Kidding.
It'd be even funnier if you did.
Oh, I know, right? It would be funny. Hello, Sarah. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. TK was just about to tell us what she's up to.
Ah, nice.
So, I've been. Are you talking to my mom and dad, or are you talking to the brood?
The brood.
Okay.
Hello.
Say hi, Mom.
Mom's having a bad allergy attack.
Not fun.
Oh, no.
Yeah, due to the plumbing issue, we believe.
Mm.
So we've been dealing with plumbing.
Plumbing. Fun.
Yep. Winter plumbing, even better.
Shucky ducky.
So is
Anyway.
that? Yeah.
So I've been working on
Beep.
costumes for a friend of mine who teaches music at the local elementary school.
Okay.
She's doing an under the sea kind of musical thing, and she contracted me to make a swordfish hat and an eel hat.
Interesting.
That's unusual.
That's for the boys. All the girls get to be mermaids.
I think I'd go for the
And
swordfish.
The swordfish is actually pretty cute.
Like me. I don't know.
And I was even able to install lights in the eel costume, so
Yeah.
it's an electric eel.
It's
Nice.
electric.
I think we need
That's
pictures
cool.
or video or something.
There will be pictures forthcoming. I'll share it in the brood. And I am, of course, working on the sequel to my book.
Mm-hmm.
It's going slowly this week.
I hear you. Casey, you want to say hi? Yes. She can't hear you, but she's gonna say hi. Go. Just say hi.
Hello, people. Hope everyone's doing good. Just wanted to share my embarrassment of the week, which was I yet again was standing on a chair in the kitchen like I shouldn't be doing, but I'm short and can't reach anything, and I always think, oh, I'll be fine. And I fell again, and I twisted my knee.
Oh, no.
So that's what I get.
Oof.
You have a tall husband for
my
a
gosh.
reason.
And also, Peter is resisting sleeping, as usual. So
But that's just growth.
there's that.
Yeah.
Hope everyone has a fun time talking to Joshua. Bye.
All right. Anyway. So, yeah, we'll see. I think Brendan might be joining us, but I'm not positive. So we'll see if we need to wait for him. But yeah, Sarah, I'm going to be discussing a couple things related to the Brood here shortly. And like I said, that it will be short as well. But we are recording, just so everyone remembers, we're recording for the first hour or so, and I'll just cut it out in and out somewhere that makes sense to put it in the recording. I definitely have it proper this time. I see both levels flying, and it'll actually be the video of the audio channel, so we can see who's talking too if we watch the video version. So that'll be good.
Okay.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to bow out around 9 when my parents come back with my cousin, because my little cousin's sleeping over tonight. So
cool.
I'm just gonna bow out randomly at some point.
Yeah, not a problem. Most people kind of come and go, whatever the case may be. I'll be talking probably at about 8:15 if Brendan's not here, and just update him later. But yeah, so Sarah, what has been up with you since the last Logo Sophia? I think it was the last time I was really talking with you much.
Yeah, I've just been doing a whole heck of a lot of work. But it is vacation this coming week, so I should be able to catch up on other things, like the magazine and the class I'm supposed to be taking that I'm super behind on, and all the things in the classroom that I just haven't been able to do because I'm too busy actually teaching.
Right. Yep. I hear you.
Hoping to read as well. I started reading Ben-Hur on Sunday, and I got in 2 chapters, and that was all I could manage on Sunday.
We recently changed our Prime to Audible, our money from Prime to Audible, so that I could have some books. I've been wanting to get through Nate Wilson's Ashtown Burials series. Yeah. I am couple chapters into the second book. I really liked the first one. It was really interesting how he blends European and American folklore. I find that particularly fascinating. And
American
westerns. That kind of thing. Yeah, westerns and things like Paul Bunyan and not specifically Paul Bunyan. He's not referenced, but things like that. Tall Tales and whatever else. The very beginning. Let me see if I can find the very beginning of the first book, because there's this line that's really awesome. In the first couple. Actually, I have the book. Hold on one second. Let me grab it off the shelf.
I wasn't sure if you had met Native American.
What was that? You cut out.
All I said was I wasn't sure originally if you had met Native American.
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought whenever I thought American folklore as well.
All right, I'm back. I bought the book, even though I ended up getting the audiobook too. Just because
white Americans have folklore too,
Oh, absolutely. Okay.
Lots of folklore.
So I love the beginning of this book. It says, north of Mexico, south of Canada, and not too far west of the freshwater sea called Lake Michigan, and a place where cows, polka dot hills, and men are serious about cheese, there is a lady on a pole. And then it goes to describe the lady on the pole as a stone carving, not carving, a stone sign of a lady with who's an archer, who has a bow and arrow, and she's hanging in a weird way and pointing up at the sky because she's all cockeyed, the way she's hanging. Anyway, but yeah, that's I just love the way he begins that, because it's so very similar to how someone would describe somewhere in England. Some random, far off land in England, the way we would as Americans, once upon a time. But it has this quality of, wait, I know that place. It's actually a lot further than you think, than you're kind of, the hyperbole is as to, how far Mexico is from Canada, etc. You know what I mean? It's just, it's an interesting way of doing it. It's a fun series. It's very... It's basically if Hogwarts was, if Hogwarts was an Indiana Jones style order of explorers created by Brendan the Navigator.
Wow, that is quite a mixture.
Yeah, and
Uh,
of course we're in the American side of the whole thing, so yeah. For this
I've
story,
heard him talk about it on Stories of Soul Food,
mm-hmm.
but I haven't read it yet. I read the 100 Cupboards series last year, so I'll probably read Ashtown this year.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to reading more of him. I can't say he's like in my favorite top tier kind of stuff, but I'm enjoying it. It's a good change of pace for me, and it's getting me back into sort of that Indiana Jonesy sort of thing that I like, where people are being intrepid, excited people. Hello, Abigail. Good to have you here.
Hello.
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 All right. Well, I haven't seen Brendan yet. If he trickles in later, he trickles in later. But I'll go ahead and, since there's a fair amount of us here, explain what's going on, and then I guess I can make a post later for anyone who misses it, or if we really want to bring it up again, we will. But I got two things. One, I want to start, and I didn't want to do it this time because people would be scrambling to get their stuff. But thinking back about the Inklings and the things that they did, one of the things that was really important was people were able to bring their works and get real-time critique. And I would really like to, especially incomplete works, things that are actually in need of forming or shaping from a collaborative standpoint. Anything that people have that you want to bring to the next one, I would really like for people to bring their stuff and read it aloud. I think that would be really fun. Also, if you have visual art that you want to show in progress, that sort of a thing, we have the regular text channel that you can, post pictures into, videos, etc., and we can share those and figure things out from there. I think that would be really good and something that will be really good for the longevity of the Broodcast, because we can talk all day about whatever, but I think we can actually get some work done together, and be a real help to each other.
I love that idea.
So, and for anyone who doesn't, you can just hear some awesome stuff, because there's some really amazing storytellers in here. I know there is. The second
Working on it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. We're all working on it, bro. Like, it's all good. The other one that I wanted to mention, I had floated the idea a long time ago of the idea of a BroodCon, and actually having a meetup. And what I had decided was August of this year, we would have an online BroodCon where we have basically talks from some people. I have a few people I want to specifically ask to give talks, but anyone in the Brood at this point can do a talk if they want to. I'll have I was figuring we could have individually, each of us sort of, if we're selling books, maybe do a sale or something if we're able to, or something like that, and kind of just advertise it through what we're doing, and have a big to do. One of the main functions that I'm wanting to try to shoot for, though, is a Kickstarter. I think, almost everything I would get from this, if I was actually selling some of my stuff, if I sell my stuff, and just about everything from that during the Brood is going to be going to this Kickstarter. And it may not be on Kickstarter, but you know what I'm saying, to actually have the money to do a full meetup in 2024. The main place that seems to be geographically centered is, hilariously enough, a suburb of Louisville called Bardstown, Kentucky. And I just thought that was particularly... Yeah, exactly. That's roughly the geographical center of everybody that I know where they are. And so it would make sense. And there's various like Kiwanis clubs and things that wouldn't be charging a whole lot. my real awesome, what I think would be a really awesome goal is to actually get a couple Airbnbs and actually do something like that instead, and actually like meet in a house and hang out and do something,
That would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
But that of course will depend on how many people we have that want to do it versus, if it's too many, then we have to do something else. But there's options. So, basically I think a retreat / conference, I think BroodCon sounds cooler than retreat. I hate the word retreat, but it's basically that kind of a thing. Yeah.
A little exclusivity would be cool, I think, just having just us.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And that's what I'm hoping for overall, basically just people in the Brood kind of a thing, but like if you want to contribute a portion of what you sell during this first, digital BroodCon toward the Kickstarter, we could do that, however you want to go about it. I'm leaving that up to people's consciences. But my hope is I don't have a number right off the top of my head, but I'm going to be beginning work on this in the next couple weeks, along with a bunch of other stuff, and asking some specific people to give talks on specific things, because I think they'll do a good job. And I think we'll probably have our own YouTube channel specifically for BroodCon, where these audio or video talks will be uploaded, and we can promote that and everything. So that's what I'm hoping for, and we'll see where this all goes. But those are the two main things I wanted to talk about. Any other further Brood related, specifically meta Brood related stuff from anybody, or thoughts on these two things? No?
They both sound fantastic. I mean, I'm down for both of them. So
cool.
I'm just running low on words.
That's okay. Ian?
I think that those are both fantastic ideas. The meeting up in Bardstown, it's almost like it was destined to happen.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I've done a lot of searching for that and everything else, and we'll see if it, comes to fruition. But I figure this year we focus on getting some money together specifically and set aside for that. Because if we can actually pull together and make it easier on people to, pay the little amount that they would need for whatever, or if we could cover the whole thing for everybody that wanted to come, that would be amazing, And so that's kind of my thought. So, but yeah, those were the two main things that I wanted to discuss in that regard. But, yeah. What have you been up to lately, Abigail? If she's around.
There we go.
There we go.
I had to mute it. I am making crepes right now.
Delicious.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a
Savory
birthday
or sweet
tradition. Oh, both. It's my it's my sister and my dad's birthday this weekend. So we always have a tradition of making crepes, and some of them will be savory. I prefer sweets.
I prefer both.
I like both.
Okay, hold on. I have to mute myself again.
That's
Bye,
fine.
guys.
Yep. All right. So
did anybody read any good books lately?
Well, like I said, the couple Ashtown ones I've been reading, I've been enjoying. Who
I
else?
just finished the audiobook of That Hideous Strength.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so what'd you think of that?
It takes a very long time to get anywhere.
It's true, it
But
does.
once it finally gets going, it's really good.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Has everyone here read that or no?
I have not.
That I have. I just reread it last month.
So
What was
David,
it?
That Hideous Strength?
Oh, I love that book. I need to read it again. I was
That book is one of the books I would consider life altering.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Basically, if the question is, have you read this? I probably haven't.
I hear you. Well, the we got another one. Is that?
Oh
Yep,
my
there he is. There's Brendan.
Hello, Seth.
Oh,
There's Brendan. Okay, so here's what we'll do. If anyone else comes in beyond Brendan, someone else.
so sorry.
No, it's okay. Someone.
We wrote someone off.
No, there you go. No, I was gonna say, whoever explained the two things that I announced last gets to pick the next person to do it, and they have to explain it to the new person. So I'm gonna say, Ian, explain it to Brendan.
Oh goodness.
Okay, no, any excuse to get this out of my own voice. So, first of all, I love that you picked Chaotic Sun because for some reason that reminds me of Soundgarden. What?
It was just noise. Continue, sir.
Okay. Anyway, so what Joshua is going to do is he's going to focus on getting the Brood together for a video BroodCon, which will be, I guess, on YouTube.
Yeah, basically like a YouTube channel with talks like it's a convention, and they all kind of premiere, at a similar time, and we show up in the chat room kind of thing. Digital convention. You're familiar with the concept, Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wants to do that, and then next year he
August.
wants to meet in August. Then next year, hopefully in August, he wants to meet up in person in Bardstown, Kentucky.
Which is a suburb of Louisville. The other thing related to that is we're hoping to raise money through the first one to cover people's food and lodging to come. That's the idea. Yes. And we can sell our wares during the BroodCon, both, mention it in the videos and link them and all that kind of stuff. And whoever wants to give can. If they just want to, shill their stuff, they can just shill their stuff and take all the profit. But if they want to give some of the proceeds, they can. So
I gotta get my speech therapy and career started.
Yep, I hear that.
I gotta start throwing all the cash at you guys.
There you go.
We'll get there.
So that was the first thing. Do you remember the second? Well, that was the second thing, Ian. Do you remember the first thing that I mentioned about the Brood meetings?
I already said the first thing.
No, that was the second thing.
Reading aloud thing.
Oh, okay. All right. So I got so excited about the Bardstown thing, I forgot all about that. So what he wants to do is have us start critiquing each other's work. Like we'd read it out loud, and the other people in the Brood would offer critique. I think that's a terrific idea because, all of my egotism and whatnot has been beat to death. So I really don't care what people think of my work.
Love it.
Hey, Lamau.
That's a healthy mental state to be in.
But yeah, further Broodcasts, I'm asking that if people have anything that they want to read out loud and actually get workshopped, stuff that's incomplete specifically, as well as any visual stuff you want to share, in the text situation, whatever, we can actually share those during Broodcasts instead of just chatting, even though we want to chat too. So those were the two announcements that I had. Anyway, how are you, Brendan?
I'm good. Just, living the dream.
How was the, yeah, how was the fast turn this week? The fast turn, for those not wondering, it was basically, he's working on the show I was working on for Yonder Child, and now he's having to do fast turnarounds. I'm not as detailed as him, but I'm fast, and so I'm asking.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I finished it at 2 a.m.
Ooh.
R.I.P.
So the reason why it was worse this week is they actually pushed the record time back so that it was back to back with the second show.
Mm-hmm.
For context, there are two shows that we record on Tuesday. The first show is due on Wednesday. normally we record the first show, then we have like an hour and a half to 2 hours to like upload the footage, and then the second show is recorded. Now, monitoring the show doesn't actually take a lot of effort unless the metaphoric turds hit the proverbial fan. So my original plan was upload all the footage and then build out the multicam, the editing, get the editing started, doing all of the sort of mindless stuff while monitoring the other show. Except that the shows were now back to back, so I didn't have that hour and a half to upload, and you can't upload while recording the show. So I didn't. Yeah. So I didn't get started until after 3 o'clock, which, oh, by the way, after the second show, they wanted to re-record the first 15 minutes of the first show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
So, yeah, but because it was due on Wednesday, I'm like, I don't have time. And so I took an hour and a half to eat dinner with the family, because Mom invited us over and we had already said yes and we committed to that. And plus, my wife works on Tuesdays and I couldn't cook because I was working on this thing that's due the next day. Mm-hmm. And so what ended up happening was, starting at basically 7 o'clock, I plowed through the entire thing. And at some point, the ADHD hyperfocus kicked in and it was 2 a.m. and it was done.
Ouch.
Relate to that.
So, yeah.
That ADHD hyperfocus really helps sometimes.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
But you can never summon it. It's like,
it's the worst.
And then, like, half the time, it ends up being kind of useless. At least for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, question. How many people here have ADHD?
Diagnosed or, like, self-diagnosed?
Either.
Self-diagnosed.
Self-diagnosed.
See, I have dyslexia, and I'm further convinced that there are dyslexic symptoms that come in some dyslexics that form as ADHD type habits. So I say that I am, but I'm not really, as far as I know.
So, actually, people who have ADHD oftentimes have symptoms of depression, but then people treat the depression, but it doesn't help because the problem isn't depression, it's ADHD. So it wouldn't surprise me. So it wouldn't surprise me if your dyslexia did manifest in the form of some ADHD symptoms.
Yep.
I am diagnosed with ADHD, which everybody who knew me growing up was like, "Duh, how did you not have this figured out?" But I thought I just hadn't learned to focus because that's a thing.
I know one kid who was not told that he had ADHD because his parents didn't want him to capitalize on it.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Yikes.
It was totally fair. He was that kind of kid.
Yeah.
Like a narcissist or something?
No,
that makes sense.
He had that kind of energy,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a kid in my karate class that I'm like 99.999% sure has ADHD, and basically every class we've had to do extra push-ups because of him. Because in karate, if one member acts up, everyone suffers.
Well, at least you're getting exercise out of it.
Yeah, we did lots of push-ups. We actually did 10 push-ups, and every count we would come up and say, "Yes, sir, I will pay attention."
That's a lot.
It was so funny, honestly. But by the end of it, my arms were burning.
The thing about anyway, sorry. ADHD this is sort of something that's sort of bugged me is that you get this a lot of people have been really into neurodivergency recently. And while I'm more than willing to allow that, I worry that it's making a good thing out of something that's not necessarily good. Right?
Yeah.
It can be, yeah. I consider my dyslexia a superpower, but it's because of the fact that I am so I'm so overcompensated into the audio realm that I'm able to do things with audio that other people are not. It's not quite like perfect pitch or something, but it's close.
Yes,
And because of that,
definitely relate with that sentiment, but I'd add it's a superpower. But if you've ever seen the sci-fi show called Alphas, has anybody seen that?
nope.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. I got one person on my side. So basically, all the superpowers come with a drawback, like a natural, logical drawback. So, like the guy with super strength, it's basically his superpower is fight or flight, to the extreme. But his heart gives out if he goes for too long using it.
Right.
And all kinds of other things like that. Just logical stuff. Like I can hyperfocus, but I will starve to death and I will forget to eat.
And the thing with ADHD, it's like you don't. People think, oh, it's like, oh, you can't focus. No, we can focus. We just can't choose what we focus on.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I read a post, I think it was on Twitter the other day. Now I have some ADHD traits. I don't think that I have ADHD, and if I do, I don't care. Because it's so mild that, like, what are they gonna do? Oh, you have ADHD. Here's some medication that I'm not gonna take. All right.
Right.
So moving on with my life.
Yeah. With the
So anyway, I read this post that basically the point they were trying to make is that people with ADHD had a biological niche before industrialization. You know, they were the hunter-gatherers that...
Yep.
Because those traits, the ADHD traits are very, very useful if you're a hunter-gatherer and you're looking out for predators or prey. Hyper-focused, incredibly useful when you're stalking deer.
Yeah, has anybody read Percy Jackson?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of the explanation that they give, that Mr. Bruner gives in that series is, well, that's your battle instinct. Which makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think the difference with dyslexia is actually like further on the negative versus the positive kind of a thing. Basically, like you were just saying, Brendan, how you can focus really well, you just can't choose what you focus on. Whereas for me, I can choose whatever I want to focus on, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be interesting enough. You kind of see what I'm saying? Like, I can absolutely choose and go hard at something and go hard until I completely burn out really, really quickly, especially things that are uninteresting to me, you know. But if it's something I'm interested in, it just keeps getting like more and more and more and more and more hyper-focused. And it's... I can't really explain how, but it's similar to like pattern recognition kind of a thing where, like the audio, I'm recognizing patterns over and over and over and over and drawing out every single possible pattern. It's very almost mathematical in my mind. And so anytime something new or exciting comes along, it's because I've drawn another pattern in my brain to how this connects to that and that connects to this. But if the patterns stop connecting, and I'm just doing the same thing monotonously over and over and over and over and drawing the same pattern over and over and over, it becomes completely uninteresting. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's I've heard descriptions of the ADHD thing, and it's not exactly the same thing as me. With me, it's like if I can't do something 50 different ways, it's uninteresting to me. And I have a hard time focusing on it. So yeah.
Well, I lost count, but that's a lot of people with ADHD.
Let's see, me-ish, Brendan, Ian, maybe, and Daniel, right?
I don't count me.
Don't count you. Okay.
Yeah, because if I have ADHD, the symptoms are so mild that I manifest as normal.
So 2.5?
So, yeah.
I'm in
it's irrelevant to me.
Oh, you are in that category? Okay. So 3.5.
Yeah, very minor.
Gotcha. Okay.
So mostly just us guys.
Mostly me, Daniel, and Brendan, but only kind of me. Does that give you an answer?
Well, to be fair, ADHD manifests differently in females, and there has been very little research done on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why, as far as I can tell, I have all the signs of quite extreme ADHD. So, yeah, Hannah too. Hannah's here.
Holy crap.
So yeah, it's kind of fun to deal with the female side of it has a lot of guilt because you have projects that are piled up and you're not attentive when people are talking and you're doing stuff while people are talking, and so you start to feel a lot of guilt about that. And the interpersonal thing. Oh, that's true. Interpersonal thing is more important. So you're better at masking all the symptoms, but also feeling guilty about it. Oh yeah, and feeling guilty.
So look busy is a big thing for you.
Well, no, it's more like I tend to be always doing something with my hands when I'm talking to somebody or listening to something, and it can come off as not respectful.
I gotcha.
So you have to pretend that you're listening more than you are.
I gotcha. So, yeah, how does it affect your actual work? Anyone who wants to chime in, does it help? Does it not help?
Yes.
Oh, it depends. It really depends. It was really helpful on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not so much today.
Right. I gotcha.
For my work, I work not in creative space. I do home repair. It seems to help me actually a fair bit because most of what I'm doing is kind of monotonous, or I know how to do it, and so I can just throw on an audiobook, get basically 100% retention on the audiobook, and still do the task.
Right.
Well, you do home repair?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah, my grandfather has been in that business for like 40 some odd years, and so I'm working under him.
Dang, I wish I had that.
Yep, I've debated forever what I would do if I actually had a garage and a shop and all that other kind of stuff. And I think I finally figured out the other day. I'm like, woodworking, no. Blacksmithing, that'd be cool, but no. I think I would go into the hardest thing I could possibly think of in some cases, but it's also a dying art, and that's why I would go for it, is stained glass making. I think, doing the breaking of the glass and then the welding of the frames and everything and all that other good stuff. I think that would be just the most awesome thing to have a shop where you do stained glass work.
That'd be great.
You'd get paid pretty good too, quite frankly, if you were any good whatsoever, because you could undercut just about anybody. This stuff's so expensive.
Oh my gosh, it's so ridiculously expensive. We had a couple years ago, maybe only 1 year ago. No, I think it was anyway. We had a stained glass window in our church, fall into the church.
Ooh.
Because of some weird weather that happened, and they had to board up with the place where the window was, and we had insurance which took care of it, but it was so crazy expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember how many zeros were attached to that.
And the question is, are you actually going to get a replacement of what it was, or are you going to have to go with something new? That's a lot of places are good about keeping records of what was actually done, and everything as far as the basic design, but some churches don't have that, and it's never the same again, which is really sad.
Our church is relatively new construction within the past 25 years.
That's good.
And so the window was they still had the plans for the window.
Yeah. It's crazy to me, some of these really ancient ones that thankfully a lot more people are realizing this and mapping them for, future renovation if need be, but like it's such a lost art, and there's so few people like working in it. I'm like, man, that would be the best use of a shop for me, for sure.
I never thought about that before.
Brendan, if you had a stained glass window in your office, what would it be?
Oh boy. I mean, if the sky's the limit and I can have anything,
go for it.
Probably either a dragon on a background, or a what is that psalm? Praise the Lord from the earth, you dragons who serve his word, for fiery praises fit to raise for the maker of heaven and earth. That's the song. The psalm. I can't remember the psalm, but there's some psalm where where the word that is used is basically sea monster or dragon, depending on how it's translated.
Mm-hmm.
I would try to figure out a way of designing that psalm into a singular picture. So it would be a lot of, so there would probably be like a mountain, clouds, your stereotypical god rays, a dragon, water, and all of it like bowing toward the light at the top of the mountain or something.
Love it.
Maybe
is it Psalm 91 by chance?
I don't think so.
It might be. That sounds correct, but I can't remember for the life of me.
I'll try to find it and just send it to you.
And now
I
you got
can't
me
read
on it
it
too.
out loud right now.
Psalm 148, maybe? Yeah, I think it's Psalm 148. Let me see. KJV. Praise the Lord from the earth, ye dragons and all deeps, fire and hail, snow and vapors, stormy wind fulfilling his word, mountains and hills, fruitful trees and all cedars, beasts and all cattle, creeping things and flying fowl. It's short, so I figured I'd read. Or no, okay, that's not the whole thing. Otherwise, I'd read the whole thing. Anyway, but yeah, this is a good one.
Which one is that?
148.
148. Thank you.
Yep, that'd be a really good one. How about you, Ian? What would yours be? Your stained glass window in your office.
Stained glass window?
Yeah.
That'd be hard. Probably a cover from a Meatloaf album. No, just kidding.
There you go.
That's it. We're gonna get slapped.
It would probably be St. George killing the dragon.
Nice.
That would be good.
Classic.
A lot of dragon talk tonight.
Dragons are awesome for stained glass. Let's be honest.
You get a bunch of ADHD creatives and a lot of male energy, and you don't expect there to be dragons?
Dragons are metal.
Yes.
The man makes a fair point.
Yeah.
Okay, let's ask a lady. Sarah, how about you? Stained glass window, your office. What would you do?
I mean, I have very mixed feelings because I do also love dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Hey! Sorry.
But I'm not that big of a fan of stained glass outside churches because I like seeing out the window.
Okay, you get to design a church building. What's the first stained glass window that you're planning for the thing?
Oh, golly.
How about that? Just the first one. The first one that comes to mind.
Can I get like a whole rose window with like the Holy Family in the middle and then all these little scenes about like Jesus's life on the outside?
There you go. That'd be cool.
Because rose windows are the bomb.
I would love just building. I think that one of the first things that I would do or attempt to do in the hobby phase of doing stained glass would probably be to try and recreate the Beauty and the Beast stained glass window. One of the obviously I do simpler projects first, but like the first thing where I would be like, okay, freeform, I'm going to try to do this now that I've got the basic skills, would probably be to recreate that Beauty and the Beast stained glass window, because that would be awesome.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. Chris is on board with that.
I know she is. I didn't even have to see her.
Okay, so have you heard about the Gaston debate?
Let's hear about it. Go ahead.
No.
Okay.
Is this a Gaston did nothing wrong meme?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
dear.
Carry on.
Carry on.
The whole thing is horrible. Ugh.
It is the worst thing ever. It started on Twitter with some, I'll say, traditional Catholic men started it, which honestly, some of them are the salt of the earth, absolutely great guys that I wouldn't mind spending a weekend with.
Mm-hmm.
The rest are terrible. Absolutely horrid human beings.
I don't know half as you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve.
Exactly.
Exactly.
This is correct.
They're like if they're like the Saxville Bagginses, honestly. Absolutely rotten human beings. So especially the men. And they started saying that, Gaston did nothing wrong. He was just trying to protect Belle. He was trying to save her from a monster, and the monster was. No, that's not. No, we watched two different movies.
See, I don't.
Yeah. And Matt Walsh of all people.
Of course.
Am I the only right winger who cannot stand Matt Walsh?
No, you're not.
No, you're not. I just
halfway
find him
there.
amusing in an annoying, meh way. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
so
with you.
he's so stupid. I mean, it's like, yes, we agree on some issues. We shouldn't be mutilating children. That's not what we do in this society.
All right, so who wants me to go on the and I want to let Ian finish, but who wants me to go on the Gaston trail and who wants me to go on the Matt Walsh trail? Be honest.
Let's go on the
Gaston trail, so I'll let you go on the Matt Walsh trail.
I know nothing of Matt Walsh.
And you're the lone Catholic in the room. That's interesting.
Get happy.
Well, I mean, I've heard the name, but it's not something I know much about.
To be fair about being a lone Catholic, I did try to get my brother on here.
Yes, true. Anyway.
Well, let's go on with Gaston.
Okay. Ian, do you want to continue with what you were saying, or do you want me to go ahead and jump in here?
So Matt Walsh rekindled it the other day. It comes up about every 6 months. It's just like Satan is in hell going, okay, guys, we need to do something really interesting on Twitter this week. This week has been dead. I know. Let's start the Gaston debate. Okay. Pazuzu, you go out and take care of that.
Yeah.
And it comes up about every 6 months. And Matt Walsh started it this time. Oh my gosh. And it escalated from there. My sister got involved. And then somebody said, I can't remember who it was. Somebody said that Gaston isn't the hero. He's the villain. The beast is trapped in sin and he needs someone to save him. Someone's love to save him. And I thought, yes, there we go. That's the fight ender right there.
Exactly. And
of course, it didn't end the fight, but
of course not. But
it never does.
I think. Well, let me just say very briefly, Matt Walsh is a Machiavellian, like so many people, and that's why I have issue with him. Secondly,
suppose Michael Knowles.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there like some weird connection here in anybody else's mind? Like, are we for some reason talking about them in a parallel for any particular reason? Like, are there some similarities or something?
With what? Matt Walsh
and Gaston?
That's a good point. Yeah, I could see that.
I wonder where on that Venn diagram.
Machiavellian. Well, yeah.
Can I please define Machiavellian?
What'd you say?
Please define Machiavellian.
I'm speaking specifically Machiavellian in regard to the idea that you can bring all the violent power together and thus be the hero, be the one in charge. Is basically the Ubermensch kind of mentality as well. The idea that, essentially there's a limited number of there's a limited number of power, limited amount of power in the universe, and if you can gather it all together, you can make everything right.
Okay, so
And that's basically the whole argument of the trad Catholic masculist movement.
Right.
I'm going to call them. I don't know what they call themselves, so I'm just going to call them masculists. And it's mostly in trad Catholicism, but I have seen it in Lutheranism, and it's even more disturbing when it's in Lutheranism.
Yep.
It's the ugliest form of.
We get it in the Reformed circles too.
Oh yeah.
It's I feel like it's a little bit more bumbling in the Reformed circles, but it exists.
Yeah. It doesn't get very far.
I don't. Okay, you're using words, and I know what each word means, but they don't fit together in the sentence.
I've
the
never
way you're
related
forming
to
it.
sentence more.
Okay, what words are you specifically wanting clarification on, Brendan?
Trad masculist?
Okay, trad Catholic first of all. Okay, let's go with trad Catholic first, and then do what you mean by masculist, which you were basically saying masculinist. Go ahead, continue.
Oh, in trad Catholicism, they are very, very focused on tradition. Thus, the trad.
And
They're
can
very,
we,
very.
as the Catholic here, I believe the people that you are describing we call rad trads. They're radical traditionalists, and they're
That's
not
a good
like
word. Yeah.
I consider myself traditional, but I'm not a rad trad in the least.
Yep.
No.
I feel like you kind of need to be somewhat traditional to be Catholic in the first place, but whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Think about them like cage stage Calvinists, only Catholics.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Right. They're cage stage Calvinists, and a lot of them are converts from Protestantism.
Okay.
So
that made me understand my brother so much.
They get the rules part of it, and that's it. They don't actually get the spirit of the law.
Yeah.
That's their problem.
Well, they specifically say, many of them, that the rules are the spirit of the law.
That's stupid.
So
and then masculist.
We do have to be fair. We do have to be fair to the trad Caths, though. Is they did get the FBI going after them before any of the other Theobros did.
That's fair.
That's true.
We got to step up our game.
All right.
I mean, Doug Wilson's got the FBI on him now pretty consistently, but yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Is that right?
What's it this time?
Oh, you guys didn't hear? They've had like downtown block parties and stuff that they've had like FBI NPCs out there. You know what I mean? Just doing their thing.
Literally, you know that meme about how it's like, oh, you have an FBI agent watching your stuff.
Doug Wilson literally has an
Doug
FBI
Wilson
agent.
Literally has an FBI agent watching his socials.
It'd be very interesting if the FBI agents just keep getting converted as they're watching the stuff.
What would be even better?
Cycling officers over.
So Doug Wilson's been doing these reaction videos. What would be even better is if he reacted to like a video of a fake FBI agent like watching a camera, and it's kind of like this meta thing. He's like, "Oh hi."
Oh no.
That would be great. Anyway,
that's his April Fool's video. That's his April 1st video.
That's what it should be up for sure. Anyway, masculist, Ian.
Masculist.
And I'm gonna vote, and anyone can vote from here, and anyone can leave when they need to. But we've almost been to an hour. I say we continue to an hour and a half if people are good to go, just because this is good, interesting conversation.
Me?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So
all
keep
right,
the recording going.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it going. Anyway, go ahead, Ian, masculist.
So, right before World War II, there was this guy who ran a magazine that was basically a Nazi rag.
Before the Nazis were even a thing.
Before the Nazis were even a thing, but there was this sort of. I hesitate to use the term alt-right because that's overused and overdone. But the part of the title was the word masculist, and the way that he. Pardon me.
Hello, Banjo.
What a time for that to go off.
Must be 9 o'clock.
So, the way that they use that term, masculist, is they believe that not that men are just physically superior to women, but men are intrinsically superior to women in every way.
Right.
And that women deserve to be subjugated. And if a woman ever stands up to you on anything in any way, period, then she needs to be punished.
Right.
So that's what I mean by rad trad Catholic masculus, or mad trad. That's even better.
Mad trad is good. I like that.
Lutheran masculus. They're even worse, in my opinion, because they take it to an extreme that even the rad trads are a little hesitant.
Well, they've got Luther on their side, so there is historical precedent for being extreme.
Yeah.
So, at the risk of being the contrarian here, how does the Matt Walsh apply to that? I get the rat. I can see the rat trad. I can see that. But
how is Matt Walsh masculist?
Okay. Stuff.
Yeah, how is Matt Walsh masculist?
He's not as masculist as the other guys that I've talked to on Twitter. He's actually fairly moderate in his viewpoints. It's just that he
power is good. It needs to be gathered. Machiavellian.
Yeah. He acts big and tough like a jock in a 1990s high school movie.
Yep.
And he says all these bombastic things for the attention it gets him. And
which is not in and of itself bad, but if you don't do anything with that attention.
Well, I mean...
Yeah. Well, he did do what as a woman.
I don't like that one. Because it's the same Machiavellian argument. It's the idea that like but it's also just not. It's like not what is truth, God's word. What is truth? Oh, that I can see, that I can observe, because I'm the arbiter of everything. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Somebody's trying to ask a question here.
I mean, sure. Okay. So, well, my first counterpoint is he is a major commentator for the Daily Wire. Of course he's doing it for attention.
Yes.
It drives traffic to the site. That's literally his job.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would, whenever you see anything above someone like that, take it with like a couple pounds of salt, regardless if you agree with them or not, because of course they're going to be inflammatory. There's no publicity like bad publicity.
I.e. Doug Wilson.
Yep.
To that end. Two, I mean, I didn't actually watch What is a Woman, but my understanding was he wasn't actually trying to answer the question.
Right, and that's a problem.
It's just, why? Why is it a problem?
Because it makes for a dumb, stupid movie.
I'm
with Brennan on this one. I haven't seen it.
I disagree.
I've seen a majority of it.
I think the point of the movie isn't to answer the question. The point of the movie is to force them to confront the question and then point them to somewhere else and get them to talk and because if
he didn't do so much presenting of physical evidence to the contrary of their situation, I would agree with you. But it makes it sound like he's arguing from a completely naturalist perspective the definitions of male, female, everything, right? He's going completely naturalist, leaving God completely out of it. And that's where I have a problem.
That's my problem as well. Is he'll talk about Christianity, but it seems like he's using Christianity as a way to get more power.
Real quick, Scout 107, we did vote that we were going to continue on till for about 30 minutes because the conversations have been good. So we are recording until around that time. We'll probably be hanging out a little after that too. But what was your name again?
Aaron.
I'm sorry?
1 second.
Oh, it's Aaron. Okay, cool. I just wanted to let you know so that you know we're recording. Anyway, continue.
Smile, you're on camera.
So
we can say whatever weird things we want to say.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Already said enough weird things for a week.
But Brendan, were you going? Or
mad trad Catholic masculist?
There you go.
No, I mean, I get that if you want to speak truth, then and you want to try to present it in a media form, then I mean, yeah, if that was your goal, then sure. But with the people, like if you have a story that is overtly Christian, people who are not Christian aren't going to watch it. I'm sorry, they're just not. Because people do not want to be forced to confront truth that would put them in the wrong.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
So,
right. And that's fine, but I'm saying that's why it's a bad movie, because it does not give any kind of good philosophical investigation of the argument, regardless of whatever worldview it's coming from.
Right, but it's not supposed to, is my point.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, my point is it's supposed to it's supposed to bring you to talk to other people.
Scary Movie isn't supposed to be a good horror movie, right? Okay, yeah. so I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm giving my opinion on the thing and saying where everyone treats it as everyone who's seen it that I know treats that documentary as if it is a serious philosophical document in history, as opposed to like I said, Scary Movie, right?
Well, if they're saying it's a philosophical document, they're wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's not what it is.
But that's where we are in our society, man. Is these people like that's our version in our culture of Ubermensch, or any of these kind of and I'm not saying Ubermensch like comparing them, but I'm saying like various documents and books and philosophical ideas throughout history were always in these books and things, and now people are looking at these documentaries because they're too lazy to read, and it ends up being like, oh, you want the real worldview shaker? Watch Matt Walsh, of all people. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. Anyway.
So you're saying that it's just too inflammatory to be a proper documentary?
No, it's not about being inflammatory. You can be as there's all kinds of inflammatory things. I'm saying people are treating it as a certain genre and critiquing it as that certain genre, which it is inherently not. It doesn't fulfill its role.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Matt Walsh's What is a Woman?
All right. Yeah, I haven't watched it, so I guess I have to be silent.
I haven't watched it either.
No, jump in.
I haven't watched it either, but
I've seen the majority.
I've known Matt Walsh since before. I say I've known. I have
followed, semi-followed.
I pseudo followed Matt Walsh since before he was on the Daily Wire, when it was just the Matt Walsh blog, and he was just this guy writing inflammatory blog posts that were like, listen, you idiots. This isn't how biology works. This isn't how, or hey, listen, Christians, these people are coming for you. And oh, look, he was right. It's not so. I think it's a little bit uncharitable, especially when you're dealing with what he has become, which is a TV personality.
Yeah.
So we do need to separate the TV personality from the actual person. Sorry. Continue.
Ian?
So the way I look at it, maybe I'm the only person who has this. Well, I'm not the only person who has this. I know that I'm not. But when I read someone's writing or I interact with someone, I get a sense that, yeah, this person has the Holy Spirit, they're saved, they're in the Word, they're walking the walk, they're talking the talk. They're in a right place with God. I've never gotten that from Matt Walsh. Ever. So I don't think he's a Christian. I literally don't think he's saved.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you make that decision off of feelings, that's not the smartest thing to do.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But as far as that all goes, you can speculate one way or the other. To me, the only reason I don't take him seriously at all is because of the fact that he does not, so it's not the inflammatory nature. I'm all for that in the right vein arguing for the right things, right? Essentially, to me, that's just spiciness you're putting in the recipe to get people interested in whatever bland hamburger of truth you have, right? And
I prefer hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, there you go. That's fine. That's another example of inflammatory. It's just a different spice, right? It's cayenne versus paprika. Anyway, but my point is, Barnum is my go-to for this kind of showiness, right? Barnum had the idea that a man suffers more from imagining too little than too much. And so he took that idea and, did a lot of truth bending and a lot of, headline type stuff in order to get people to come see his shows. Now, what were his shows ultimately? Some of it was, amazing feats of wonder. Some of it was just complete and total trickery, right? But the fact is there was some good there, some not good there, whatever, like with everybody. With Matt Walsh, I have found very little actual value beyond his shock ability, right? Which is in and of itself an interesting. It's a good thing to have. I believe that. I believe having the gear to shift into for inflammatory for the sake of getting attention is a good thing to have. Also going into the outlandish, also going into, whatever it is to clickbait, grab attention, get people where they need to go for whatever it is you're selling. But then there's the actual product, right? When someone's in the mall or in a market and they're saying, "Oh, you come check out this hand cream," right? And they just basically grab your hand and you're like, "Oh, feel how soft that is. Rub it in." What? Like you almost everybody's had this kind of experience somewhere, and it's usually a foreign person who's doing it in a different way than Americans do, and it's awkward and it's weird for us and whatever else. But half the time they are still effective. And the situation is where you need to know what you can and can't do within the society, but push those boundaries and sell your product. But also have a good product to begin with. And I have never liked Matt Walsh's product, is what I'm saying. So,
okay,
that's my.
I've got.
Let's go, you and I.
Alex.
Okay. Okay. So. First, my first introduction to Matt Walsh was a video that he did after he came to The Wire, but relatively early on. I think it was like episode 79 or something. And the entire episode was Why I'm Not a Young Earth Creationist. So I started off getting the same sense from him as I do with like Francis Collins.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of respect for this guy.
Right.
Didn't listen to him for probably a year and a half after that. Then I started listening to him again maybe 3 months before the pandemic hit, and I read his book. Anybody read Church of Cowards?
I don't think I have.
No.
Basically,
Church of Cowards.
I'm just going to restate, if it's a book, throw it at me. I haven't read it.
Okay. It is the most scathing critique of the church, specifically the Catholic Church, but the church in general, I have ever read. He pulls zero punches in any way, shape, or form, and it is absolutely just a really well-done book talking about these are all the places the church has gone wrong. We need to fix them. So I would disagree with you, Ian. I really do think he's saved. I think he's wrong. I mean, I think that he's wrong on a lot of things, but I can't imagine somebody taking the respect for the church that he so obviously shows in that book without being a Christian. So I'm on both sides of this. I've never liked Walsh all that much. I find him fun and interesting to listen to. I don't listen to him daily anymore, but also
I find him fun. I think he'd be fun to fight. I'd like to go a few rounds with him.
There you go.
Yeah, but read Church of Cowards. If you want to give them a fair shake, Church of Cowards came out like August 2019, and it is a fantastic book.
Well, there you go. Is there anything anyone wants to plug? And I think now would actually be a good time to wrap the show formal, and then we can hang out. But anything anyone want to plug as far as their work, places to go? Ian, I know you have stuff. Anyone else? Abigail?
If somebody can somehow dive into my imagination, then they will probably find some interesting stuff.
You'll get it out one day, man. You'll get it out one day.
When I get a platform, I will plug it, but it is not this day.
I'm not done with anything yet.
Yeah, I'm working on setting up my Substack, but it's not there yet. So.
Okay. Ian? I know you've got stuff.
Always got stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I should apologize.
Are you pulling up links?
No, I just.
Yeah, yes.
People get me talking about something that I'm passionate about, and I say some things that maybe I shouldn't have said.
I don't think there was anything like that, bro. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're good. If you say anything offensive, I can just turn the hearing aids off. So.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I guess I should apologize to Matt Walsh.
No. He was saying that Gaston is a good guy, so he
Fair
gets
enough.
no apologies.
At least he wasn't saying Belle has Stockholm syndrome. I'm so sick and tired of that one.
He said that too.
Oh, he did?
That was part of what he said.
Anathema! No, anyway.
Yep. Cast him into the Mount Doom.
All right, Ian, plug your stuff.
Okay, so I got my 4-book compilation, which is available now on Amazon. The Emrys Saga. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember the title off the top of my head.
Classic, but yes, totally.
I wrote 4 books, and
They're great.
The titles right now.
I
haven't actually plugged my own books in so long. Yeah, the Emrys Saga, the complete series, the Camelot Cycle.
And I've got the second one completed, but it needs editing, and we need to get to that at some point, Ian. But yeah,
I got to put that on my to-do list. I got like 4 chapters done with notes that I have to send you, but I have to do the rest of it anyway. So I've got that. There's my Substack, Legends and Songs on Substack. Got that. And trying to think what else I've got. I got, of course, my artistic services as a writer and illustrator.
background noise.
What the
Sorry.
heck is that?
It's okay.
Sorry, I muted it. I didn't have it muted. Okay.
That's okay. Anyway, I think it's a baby.
My Etsy store I just started. So I've got those things. But basically, if you subscribe to my newsletter on Substack, you'll get everything that you need to know about me, about my work. You'll get comics. $5 a month for 8 subscribers, and then you'll get a whole shot, everything.
Sweet. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to do the sign off, and then we can hang out, and I'll turn off the recording. Everyone, be your family's bard. Do not turn to the right or to the left, and the Lord will be with you wherever you go. The next Broodcast, should you so like to join, will be the 31st of March at 8 p.m., and I'm looking forward to having any new people there and in the Brood and its various places. If you want to know how to get to the Brood, go to my website, click the giant snake. You'll join into the Facebook Messenger group. If you're not into Facebook Messenger, hit me up in a private message either there, or you can email me, joshuadavidling@gmail.com, and I'll get you in somehow. So any which way, everyone, we will see you next time in the trenches on Poets at War.
This is the Broodcast on Poets at War, Inkling-style Discord chat, last Friday of every month. To join, go to joshuadavidling.com and click the Discord link in the right-hand sidebar.